What's going on, guys? I know I haven't been posting much here lately at all, well, really nothing at all, because I started my new job, so I just don't have the time right now. When I was off and I was taking my little bit of vacation, I was spending most of my day setting up, doing camera stuff, then editing. Well, I don't really have that right now. I'm waking up at the crack of dawn, not getting home late. I'm actually been away on business technically, doing training, so just don't have the time right now. It's the weekend now, so I can finally take a little bit of video and hopefully catch up on some of what I want to talk about. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Today I wanted to talk about right-hand drive versus left-hand drive. Now, I don't just want to talk about, okay, left-hand drive and right-hand drive vehicles. Particularly, I want to try and explain to some people the differences in price versus a left-hand drive Supra versus a right-hand drive Supra. This seems to be an ongoing debate of why one costs more than the other for some time now, and I kind of wanted to dig into a little bit of why it does and why it is the way it is. So let's start off first. Why is a left-hand drive Supra worth more than a right-hand drive Supra in the US? In my opinion, there's many variables here, but I'll try to dig on the ones that I know of first and foremost. Number one, rarity. So the left-hand drive Supra is much more rare than, say, a right-hand drive Supra. They're much more common around the rest of the world, versus a left-hand drive Supra was only known in particular places around the world. Canada, the United States, and a few other places around the world actually have left-hand drive Supras also, but it is more common in the States here and in Canada. Now, because of that, it has made it very sought after, as us Americans would prefer to drive a left-hand drive vehicle over a right-hand drive vehicle. So that's one thing to start off with. Number two, most left-hand drive vehicles have options that right-hand drive vehicles never got. So most of the US cars, Canadian cars, we all had power seats, leather, target tops, all the little extra bells and whistles, and some more things I can't even think of right now. We had all the little extra bells and whistles most of the world else didn't get. In Japan and stuff, for the most part, once again guys, for the most part, now I'm not saying 100%, for the most part, were all hard tops, had cloth seats, and did not have power seats. They were usually these ugly Recaro looking seats, and they weren't too attractive in my eyes. Maybe back in the early 90s they were, but they even to me had like an 80s look to them, and they just were kind of past their time. There's nothing really special to them. Another kind of thing I wanted to go along with here is rarity of parts that kind of go along with rarity of car. What drives up the price of left-hand drive Supras over right-hand drive too is a lot of the parts that we need for it, like the interior wise, were only meant for us here in the United States and in Canada. So for us, we have to get parts from the States here. Anything we try to order from overseas, 9 times out of 10 doesn't fit, so it doesn't help us much. So that helps jack up the prices also, meaning like if it has parts on it that are proper and they aren't broken on the interior, or certain things even in the engine bay wise. There's a lot of stuff that we even have for our cars in the engine bed that will not work on a right-hand drive car, and vice versa. So we are very limited, and we have to be very careful at times what we cut off or what we remove. And that's why you see stock parts for left-hand drive Supras sometimes going for astronomical amounts of money, because it's only designed for that car. Like center console box is now going for $500–600, which were like $110 a year ago, brand new from the dealer. Just little things like that have really skyrocketed lately because of the rarity of the vehicle in itself. I think lastly, just to go on this subject here, and I'm going to move on to something else for this video here, it's a novelty. I mean, at the end of the day, there's really no big reason for it. The only thing I can think that gets in the way sometimes and causes a little bit more headache is the way the turbo is actually set up on the Supra. You can see here, we have plenty of room because as it's on the passenger side. If you have a right-hand drive vehicle, the steering shaft is now coming out this side, causing some issues for turbo fitment and for the downpipe fitment, I should say. So this can actually cause you some headache. On top of it also, now your brake booster and everything is on this side. It can cause some issues here and there, but nothing too dramatic, I guess I should say. It does actually move the AC lines over, which is kind of nice, but for the most part, it is a little bit more difficult, so that's the only thing I really think of. But when it really comes down to it, it's most likely just a novelty. Us Americans would prefer a left-hand drive, American sold Supra. That's just what we prefer. That's what the market has shown. And it has shown it in dollar value over and over again. And the only other thing I can really think of is the fact that the right-hand drive Supra is technically still not legal in the US. They first rolled off the line in '93.5, so they're technically not legal here yet. When they come here, I don't know. I'm still unsure if the prices are going to skyrocket or not yet, but I guess we'll find out. I don't know where that market's going to hit, how it's going to hit, but I do see the prices of right-hand drive Supras going up, at least for the legal ones. The ones already here, I don't know. But for the ones that are brought in properly and have the proper paperwork, I've actually been following a guy by the name of Chris Ford, which I'm not sure he'll even see this video, but I'm following a gentleman. He actually bought one, is storing it over in Japan right now. I think he's storing it there for 1.5 or to 2 years or whatever. And he bought one ahead of time, and he is reaping the benefits for that because of the fact he's able to buy it cheap. Now, when they are now legal and you're going to be able to buy them, I see the prices going up. So you guys can make the decision on this one here. I see the prices kind of going up. I don't see them ever getting to the same as a left-hand drive Supra. I think they'll always have that novelty about them, but I'll let you guys make that decision. So let me know what you guys think on this, where you think the left-hand drive versus right-hand drive, why the prices are different in the way they are. I'd like to see your opinion on all this, as everyone kind of has their own little opinion. Some people think it's stupid. Some people think that left-hand drive should even be worth even more than what they are. So I'd like to hear your guys' feedback and let me know what you think. Also has nothing to do with left-hand drive versus right-hand drive, but my friends always call my car the dick magnet. Now, why would you call a car a dick magnet? You're supposed to say chick magnet. When you go to a car show, when you go to a car meet, this thing right here attracts nothing but dudes. Girls could give 2 shits less about this fucking car. It gets every guy going, is it twin turbo? Why'd you put a single turbo if it's supposed to be twin turbo? How much horsepower you make? You making 1,000 horsepower, bro? Fuck off. Like, I get some of the dumbest questions. Like, I'm all about answering questions and like helping people out and going, yeah man, I'll tell you about the car. But like, that, I get the same dumb question over and over and over again. It's always, how much power are you making? Why'd you go from twin turbo to single turbo? And is it a manual? Those 3 questions every time. If you have an automatic, oh, they walk away. Luckily my car's a manual, but they don't even know it doesn't have a V160 in it, which they don't even know what a V160 is besides that. So I kind of laugh when I hear people say, well bro, is it automatic or manual? Twin turbo, single turbo, how much horsepower? God forbid it doesn't make 1,000 horsepower. If you don't have 1,000 horsepower, it's not a real Supra. So I always laugh because it's always been a dick magnet when you go to car shows. I feel like the R32 GTR is kind of the same way, but to be honest, it's a pretty ugly vehicle in itself. It's cool to us car guys because we know the potential. Physically looking at it, it's an ugly piece of shit, man. I'm probably gonna probably get a little flack for that, but it doesn't have like a pretty curve to it or anything. At least the Supra has curves and it has like a sports car-ish feel. Being honest, the GTRs were just beasts of a vehicle. They were just, you could manhandle them, you could throw the power at them. They were cool vehicles in that aspect. But looks-wise, let's be realistic from the factory, they didn't have really a whole lot going for them. So I feel like both these cars are more like dick magnets, especially when you get to a car show of any sorts. They really just attract dudes, which is kind of ironic because most guys build their cars and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, girls are gonna like it, it's gonna be badass, and they could give 2 shits less about these vehicles. Maybe if we had a classic like Mustang or Camaro would do something, but they could care less about these old Supras and GTRs. Going along with the dick magnet thing too, you get some other weird questions like, why don't you have the target top off all the time? Or if they see a hard top, they go, oh, okay, that's a base model. Well, people don't realize that hard tops could be twin turbo or non-turbo. Same thing with the target top. Guys automatically assume if you have a target top, twin turbo. They automatically assume that's only that's a twin turbo thing. That's only for those cars. So there's a lot of people out there that aren't knowledgeable about it, and I don't expect them to be. I mean, who has all the knowledge on one vehicle? I mean, I don't know shit about Mustangs or Camaros or anything. There's so many nuances with those cars. I mean, how am I supposed to know? But I mean, some guy, if I go up to him and go, oh, this is neat, he's probably looking at me like, you're a tool, you should know this stuff, but I don't. So that's another thing too with it, that maybe I can be a little harsh on this subject, or maybe I'm coming off a little too hard, but it's just funny, a lot of people just don't know that much about the vehicles. And they also assume if you have a wing on the car, it's automatically a twin turbo. If it doesn't have a wing, it's not a twin turbo, but if it has the big wang on it, oh, that means it's making big power, it's got all the horsepowers if you do all that. So it's just funny what people think and assume automatically if you have a Targa or if you have a wing in the car that it has to be twin turbo. All right, that's gonna be the only update I have for you here today, guys. That's just something I wanted to do and talk about a little bit. So I hope that helps you guys out some, and I hope that you guys get a little laugh out of it. Thank you guys very much as usual. Like I said, the uploads are gonna be a little bit slower. I'm hoping to do maybe 2 to 3 a week now. I won't be able to do the daily uploads anymore, especially going through training. My brain's gonna be kind of fried, and I kind of want to focus on my job, as that's much more important at this time than YouTube is. If this would pay more, then I would focus more on this, but YouTube just doesn't want to pay like it used to anymore. Not that it ever paid me a whole lot, but with the whole new system, it's just not paying out like it used to the bigger YouTubers themselves. Even the guys with over 1 million subscribers now just aren't making the money they used to with YouTube's new algorithm has kind of killed that. So anyways, thank you guys very much as usual. I do appreciate all your help and support, and I hope I can help you guys out any way I can possible. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and have a great day. And real quick, any of you that actually made it past the sign out or the outro or whatever, I got one last update on the harness. I know I keep telling you more and more about it. This is the last thing real quick. I talked to Jose today. He's guaranteeing me he will ship it out Monday and I'll have it by Tuesday. So that's good news from that. So I just guys want to give you that update. I'm hoping by next weekend I can at least show you me trying to turn over the car. If it doesn't start, great. If it doesn't, well, I'll keep working out the small issues. But let's hope it starts and you guys get to see that. Peace.